Hey guys, Concrete Pete here, and welcome to my Bowl Lightning mining guide with Path of Exile Harvest League. This is a build that I've started the league with and have managed to clear most of the content up to and including Cirrus. In the guide, I'll show you the skill progression that you should take whilst leveling and once you get to maps, passive trees you should use once you get to maps and also while leveling, gear examples for maps, bandit choices, ascendancy pathings, and upgrades you can make with additional currency. I'll also show you two variants of the build that you can build, one of them being low life and the other being full life. If you're liking the content that I'm putting out and would like to support me, the best way you can do it is by hitting the like button and subscribing to my channel. You can also catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/concretepete, where I stream Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 8 PM GMT. So let's see how the miner performs as a league starter in various maps. The next few clips are a mixture of my budget setup whilst progressing through white and yellow maps, and then my low life setup that I transitioned to once I started to hit the red maps. As you can see from the clips, Bowl Lightning does not struggle in terms of damage while mapping or while bossing. It scales extremely well and can achieve considerably high damage. With gear, it can melt the endgame bosses, and on a budget it can safely complete the endgame boss fights. It's a decently fast mapper and has multiple layers of defense with many ways to build. For your skill links, you want to be pushing your damage as high as you can through support skills and auras. Whilst leveling, start out with Stoneblast Mine and then transition to Icicle Mine. Once you've gotten to the point where you can use Bowl Lightning, if and only when you feel comfortable, slot in your Bowl Lightning and then use that. I personally waited till I got a 4-link being available and felt that the damage was sufficient. For Bowl Lightning, you want to link High Impact Mine, or Blast Mine if you prefer to melt the bosses quicker, Swift Assembly, Slower Projectiles, Trap and Mine Damage, and then your choice of a 6th link. Choose from either Controlled Destruction, Lightning Penetration, or Added Lightning Damage. I recommend loading your character in Path of Building, find out which gem works best for your gear set. I personally used Controlled Destruction until I went low life, and it worked a treat for me all the way through mapping. For your auras, the setup depends on whether you've gone low life or stayed as life. You could also use the life auras if you choose to play Chaos Inoculation. For life, choose a Wrath, summon Skitterbots, and a level 1 Precision. If you have it available, slot an Enlighten in here to be able to place more mines. If you've gone life, you will also need to run Curse on Hit, with Orb of Storms and either Conductivity or Enfeebled based on your preference. For low life builds, you want to put Discipline, Wrath and Zealotry in your shield. Check the gear section for details on that. You'll then want to link Clarity and a level 1 Precision with Blood Magic. Level your Clarity as high as you can once all your auras are on. After that, look to get your curse set up with linking Blasphemy, Enfeeble and Summon Skitterbots. You can also use Conductivity here, but I prefer Enfeeble. Place an Enlighten in this slot to increase your available mana. For utility spells, I would suggest linking Flame Dash with faster casting, Arcane Surge and Second Wind. Don't level your Arcane Surge too high. In a separate link, you should also link in Cast when damage taken and Immortal Call. Level these as high as your strength allows. When starting your passive tree, you want to be taking the mine and trap nodes towards trickery. From there, ensure to pick up life nodes while progressing towards volatile mines. Pick up saboteur, assassination and successive detonations along the way. Once you hit level 20, proceed to head towards the right side of the tree and pick up the mine wheel, ending with high explosives. Don't forget to take the life nodes that you pass along the way, and also the blast cascade cluster. If you've started using ball lightning already, I would highly suggest grabbing the Arcane Expanse Area of Effect cluster here as well. After hitting level 40, flesh out your tree and take phase acrobatics in the nearby life clusters. Then you'll start to move through the witch area, picking up the life and damage along the way, whilst finally making your way to the Templar area for your final health nodes. At this point, you should be able to progress through white and yellow maps and start to build your gear ready for the transition to low life. You could even go halfway at this point and transition to Chaos Inoculation by following the low life setup below and replacing Pain Attunement for Chaos Inoculation. Remember to check the gear section if you're thinking of doing this, as some of the gear does differ. For the low life variant, you are keeping most of the damage nodes that you acquired along the way and changing all of the life that you've acquired into an increased energy shield. Only switch this build once you have a 5 link shavs and a Prism Guardian available. For your Ascendancy choice, I usually take Pyromaniac first, as it provides you a decent source of life regen outside of your flasks. It also reduces the reservation cost of your mines, which will help you a lot in the earlier levels when you're struggling with the mana costs. After Cruel Lab, you'll probably need a damage boost, so take Bomb Specialist for increased damage once you've detonated your mines. Once you can do Merciless Lab, I would look at taking Born in the Shadows, as the monsters will start to hit harder after this point. The added layer of defense through Blind helps us to be able to survive monster attacks, whilst the reduced damage taken from blinded enemies helps us survive those hits that do actually land. Born in the Shadows also provides a nice damage boost, providing a nearby monster is blinded. I would finish off your Ascendancies with Explosive Expert, and preferably do this before switching to low life to make the lab easier. Ensure that once you've taken this node, you're fulfilling the burning enemies requirement by getting fire damage on either your jewellery or your weapons. For your bandits, you want to be killing all, as the 2 extra points are very valuable on the tree. If you're struggling with resists whilst you're leveling or whilst you're mapping, you can always pick up a Lyra and then switch to the 2 passives at a later date. As you're leveling, you can equip almost anything that you find. Look for anything with maximum life, resist and potentially energy shield on your gear. For damage, you want to be grabbing spell damage, critical strike chance for spells, adds an element to spells, and if possible, +1 to all lightning spell skill gems. Once you're at the point where you are transitioning to maps, you can flesh out your gear a little bit more. For a weapon, use a wand and get as many of these mods as you can. +1 to all lightning spell skill gems, spell damage, critical strike chance for spells, adds element to spells, and then gain elemental damage as extra chaos damage. For a unique weapon, you can use Doriani's Scepter, which will carry you through pretty low end maps. For your boots, look for life, resists, and as much movement speed as you can get. If you're low on attributes, you can also get some of these here. For low life or chaos inoculation builds, you want to be getting as high energy shield as possible, with resists and movement speed. For gloves, it's a very easy slot to gear with. Look for resists and life. For a low life or chaos inoculation build, you want to be getting resists with as high energy shield as you possibly can. For your helmet, you want to be getting as much life as you possibly can, and then fill out your resists in this slot. If you're playing the low life or chaos inoculation build, then look for a helmet with high resists and as high energy shield as you can possibly get. For your chest piece, if you're using the life based setup, then look at getting a corrupted 6 link with the colours that you need, plus high life and resist if possible, as that will help you a lot compared to a tabula rasa. For the chaos inoculation version, you want to be getting a high ES chest with the resistances that you need, and for low life, Chevron's wrappings is mandatory. For your rings and amulet, they're very similar pieces. Make sure to cap out any resists that you're missing, and look for life or energy shield depending on which version of the build you're playing. You'll also need the amulet Eye of Chayula if you're a low life or chaos inoculation build, as this will avoid you being stunned all the time. If you still need any attributes, this is another place where you can grab them, and then potential damage mods that you could consider would be extra spell damage, and then also adds a particular element to the item. This is a good spot to pick up the burning proc for our Ascendancy. For your belt, my personal favourite for this slot is a well-rolled Stygian Vise with life and resists. If you have the option, try and get an Onslaught on Kill Abyssal Jewel, as it will help you through mapping. If you're the low life or the Chaos Inoculation version, then a high energy shield crystal belt with resists is the way to go. The benefit of this style of setup is that all the slots can be filled for a few chaos. For example, My budget build that you can find in Path of Building was based on 20 Chaos minus the Tabula, as I got the Tabula whilst I was leveling. By building this way, you can start to save and craft gear ready for your transition to either Chaos Inoculation or Low Life. Don't forget to use the crafts that are available in Harvest, as some of them are really OP and can really help you get your gear ready for mapping without sinking too much chaos into your build. For flasks, I would recommend to cover yourself from bleeding and freeze, and look at bases such as a Diamond Flask, a Quicksilver Flask, a Divine Life Flask if you're the life base build. For a budget damage option, pick up an Exile Flask as soon as you can, as it will boost your elemental damage. Having a mana flask is essential for both versions of the build, as we don't get a lot of mana regen. So getting an Eternal Mana Flask with the Enduring mod will be a huge quality of life upgrade for you. For your jewels, use these to fill out any resist that you're potentially missing, or any attributes that you're missing. If you don't need to fill these slots with any of those, try to get increased maximum life or increased maximum energy shield based on the variant that you're playing. Any damage mods you could look for would be spell damage or crit multiplier. Remember that spell damage can also be listed as lightning damage or elemental damage. If you're on an energy shield based build, make sure to slot an energy from within into the tree near the Pain Attunement node for an increase in your energy shield. Once you're fully transitioned to low life, you can start to look out for the following upgrades. Some of these are super expensive and are considered endgame, so make sure you prioritise which ones you can afford and which ones will make the biggest impact to your personal build. The unique glove Mac and Emits will give you energy shield leech on your mine's damage and has a massive defense layer to you. It's super helpful on low regen maps and always keeps you topped up versus the bosses. A Watcher's Eye with the increased crit chance zealotry mod or any of the useful wrath mods will massively boost your damage. Just make sure that you're picking the right ones and always check on Path of Building if it's worth you spending the currency. A helmet with a high energy shield and enemies have the -9 lightning resistance modifier will boost your damage as long as enemies are close by. Taking your Chevron's wrappings to the Corruption Temple could yield you with a +4 gems mod. Make sure to check that the ones that you get match up with the tags on Bow Lightning. Probably one of the earliest upgrades you can get is getting a Presence of Chayula as opposed to your regular Eye of Chayula. This will give you more ES on top of what you've already got. Thank you for taking the time to watch the build guide. I hope you enjoyed it, and if it helped you, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button for more Path of Exile content. I plan on releasing a few more build guides as I make the characters, so make sure you check them out when they pop up. You can also join our Discord server where you can find like-minded people, share some build ideas, ask me any questions, and also group up. I'll pop a link to that in the description if you guys are interested in joining. If you also have any questions for me, please feel free to leave me a comment on YouTube or drop me a message on Discord and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks again, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.